I'm Mike Romey. I'm the Dean of the Archie W. Dunham School of Business, and also serve as Director of Academic and Corporate Partnerships across campus. Look forward to speaking with you all today and on this version of Think About It. With us is Emily Butler. Emily is a great addition to our team in the leadership aspect of the business school, but she actually works with me very directly on the partnerships and all the initiatives that we are currently putting in place. You know, it's interesting because when I came on campus a couple years ago to work on the consulting project for the McNair Foundation and the school and the entrepreneurship program, it was a great opportunity to learn a lot about the university and really have a setting for being able to move into this position. And because I got to know the ins and outs of the school, I got to know the kids and the students and the faculty, and it's really played a wonderful role in making it extremely enjoyable to be here at this point in my career. And so today, what I'd like to do is have a conversation with Emily and talk about not so much the curriculum, we'll do that another time, but talk about what the partnerships and what we're doing across campus to improve the student involvement and the value proposition that we offer them by coming to Houston Christian University and being a part of the student body here. So with that, Emily, you want to introduce yourself and you know, it's just a pleasure to have you on our team.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So as Mike mentioned, I'm the Assistant Dean of the College of Business, and really what that entails is partnering with the marketplace. And so what we've been working on for the past 6 months or so has been focused primarily on engaging the marketplace in a strategic way. And like you mentioned, that has a lot to do with how do we improve student retention, how do we build student outcomes that demonstrate what we're trying to do and accomplish here at HCU, especially given all of the other exciting things that we have on campus. So we've been hyper-focused on communicating with our partners in the community, engaging them in ways that are new, inviting them onto campus and showing them all that we have going on, and introducing them to students so that we can funnel our students into great internships, great jobs, and really build a great community in the city of Houston.
It's really exciting, actually, to do something that, for the most part, hasn't really had a focal point and a focus on the campus. So it's like putting a crossword puzzle together, and every day is different, and so it's exciting. You know, I think it'd be good for you to talk about the, you know, when we talk about partnerships, what are we looking for? What,
Sure.
You know, how are we thinking about that?
Yeah, so we've been actively engaging with several different industries per university initiatives, but typically what we look for in a partner is people who have a vested interest in what we're doing here at HBU, or HCU rather. Still taking a bit time to adjust, but we're getting there, and the marketplace is getting there too. They're excited about the changes, and so we look for those individuals and those organizations more specifically that are excited about the changes, so they see that there's change happening and that interests them, and so we want to invite them in. We look for partners that can elevate really where the students get placed after graduation, and then we look for people who have alignment in values, so those who share what we're doing in not only the spiritual development realm, but the holistic development of a student, as well as those who see our diversity numbers on campus, who want to represent what we've built here at HCU. And so we look for those commonalities in our partners because we want to have that seamless transition for our students. So after they leave HCU, we want to position them to go into places where they can not only be effective in the workplace, but have that sort of natural transition into organizations that already value the same things that they look for.
Yeah, it's exciting from that standpoint as well, because the diversity of our student population really fits in today's society, in today's world, particularly in the business world, and employers are looking to diversify their employees. And so the timing is really good for us to be a part of that. Recently, we had a career fair on campus, and I thought it was very professionally done, and we broke all kinds of records.
Yes.
So it was great to see the value that was brought to the students, and which is, again, it goes back to they're our clients, so we're working for them to try to get them better jobs. So you want to talk about kind of the lead into the career fair, which and how that happened, and what we were thinking, what was behind the scene in putting that together.
There was a lot behind the scenes, as you know. So we've been quite busy, you, myself, Greg, Kiefer as well. We've been behind the scenes, meeting with partners multiple times a week, inviting them onto campus, taking them to lunch, going to different events throughout the city, really networking with who we have in Houston particularly. And so we've done a lot of pre-work, particularly in the summer before our students came back to campus, where we got to meet with these partners and share with them, hey, here's what we're building, here's where we're going, do you want to be a part of that? And so we got to explain that to them, and then the ones who said, yes, we're on board, we want to be a part of that, we said, hey, well, the first entry into the university is going to be at this career fair. And we did something a little bit differently this time in working with Career and Calling, as we would traditionally, but we also leveraged our partnerships internally, so it's not just the external partnerships where we focus, but we've been engaging internally on campus. And so we partnered with our friends over in COSI, the College of Science and Engineering, and put this career fair together because we were thinking strategically, it makes sense based on what our partners are looking for, whether it's the accounting roles, the finance roles, management, marketing. They're also looking for IT professionals. They're also looking for cyber engineering, which is on the up and up as far as what organizations need to safeguard their business. And so we said, let's do that. Let's put that together. And then let's invite partners who are interested in all of those majors to come on campus at our career fair. And so that's the entry point into engaging with our students. From there, we have a myriad of opportunities for them to sponsor events, and we'll talk about those in a little bit, I hope.
Yes.
But really, the career fair was a great success. We've been filtering through that data on the back end, running the analysis on how did we do, not just from the student perspective, but from the employer perspective as well. And so we captured that feedback, and what our students told us is, this was awesome. We saw a difference in who was on campus, how many employers were on campus, and the diversity of the type of employers that came to campus, so they took note. Additionally, the employers also said, wow, and this is a direct quote, you guys just keep getting better each and every year. And so they were excited to be here and excited to be part of what we had going on. I think we had a record for upwards of 200 students who attended the career fair. And then likewise, we set a record for the employer engagement element as well within the career fair. So it was very exciting. As you know, you were there, you got to see everybody milling around, and it was a lot of fun. But what were your takeaways from the career fair? What stood out to you most?
The biggest thing that I found was the engagement between the corporate world and our students. And I think in a lot of cases, the corporate world in Houston and the vicinity don't really know that much about the Houston Christian University students. And so we know we've taken it upon ourselves to help get that message out there. And that was a big takeaway for me, is that as I spoke with the various sponsors, they were they were so excited to be there because we were engaged. It wasn't sterile. We didn't just put up a tent and kind of move everybody through. We really made it very engaging. We made it so that there was a luncheon ahead of time so the students could sit down with the employers and talk with them before in that kind of a setting.
Yeah.
So we did learn a lot, and I think that there's a second thing that I would take away from it is, and something that I've really paid attention to as I came on campus as the dean, and that is that working on accountability and getting feedback. We really need to continue to get better. It is a very difficult time in higher education, keeping students, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in a further down question or comments. And the students are moving around so much and from school to school. So how do we keep those students engaged and on campus? And then the third thing that I might take away is I'm just smiling like a proud papa because I know, having 3 children myself, how important it is for those kids to have the opportunity to speak to major organizations and learn how to talk to them and how to really be present. And it was so cool to see them come in all dressed and prepared, which really kind of segues into the next thing I'd like to talk about, which is the professional development events that we're putting together. And I mean, you can single things out and say, well, it's this, or this, but it all works together in one. And the professional development is, I mean, what college student and what really all of us need to revisit professional development over our careers. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. And I like that you led with the data-centric approach, the feedback approach, and so I want to come at it from that angle because that's exactly what we're doing. Professional development is a lifelong learning activity for all of us. So there's always areas of opportunity, there's always areas of growth, and so we all have refining pieces that we can work on. And what we're seeing, again, based on that feedback from the career fair or some of the professional development events that we've sponsored, is that the students have a desire to grow in that way, and the employers are also seeing what we might reference as skills gaps or skill building opportunities for the students before they enter into a full-time role after graduation. And so we took feedback from both of those parties and really tried to digest, okay, what do they need? What do the students need in order to have a successful career? And so on the back end, we took a lot of that data as well from one of our partnership events that we hosted. It was a resume review workshop, which sounds very simple at face value, but behind the scenes, it's very complex because every student needs a solid resume to present to the employer. It's the first piece of information that an employer receives. And so getting that element right is important for our students. And so we invited corporate volunteers onto campus, and they hosted 30-minute one-on-one review sessions with our students, giving them that professional corporate lens of what should my resume look like, what's going to speak to a recruiter, and took feedback from that and said, how can we expand it? Because the students loved it, the volunteers loved it, so let's do more. And that's what we're building for the spring. And so I'm excited to share that we've got a lot coming in the spring, which means you and I will still be busy, but the students are going to really benefit from what we have coming. And so that would look like, again, a resume review workshop, interview prep. So we'll have mock interviews that come to campus. How do I dress professionally? How do I shake a hand and communicate in the professional sense that needs to be communicated with these individuals? And so we're building out a series, inviting the partners on campus, already have some really good ones lined up, but we're going one step further too, and we're building in these this sort of mini series. One of the questions we get commonly from students is, well, what does that mean? What do I do with my major? What jobs can I apply to? Because when you go into the job search, as you know, LinkedIn, Indeed, all these different places have just a litany of opportunities, and it can be hard to filter through what exactly it is should be geared towards an accounting student, for example. And so we're going to help them debrief and digest, have young alumni come back to campus and talk about, hey, this is what I did when I was a student at HCU, and this is where I am now, just 2 or 3 or 5 years out of college. Here's what I'm doing with my degree. And so we want to, going back to our value proposition, really sell to the students, your degree is valuable, and here's where you can utilize it in the marketplace with these partners that we've taken time to engage on your behalf. So it's a package deal. There's a lot of fun professional development opportunities coming for the business students in particular, which is really where we'd like to begin and focus as we continue to engage with our partners. But I'm curious, as you've talked with students, many of them come to your office, they love to meet you and shake your hand. What do you see that the students need most? What are they demonstrating to you that we can really help them with?
Well, I think you're on the right path, Emily, and we've talked about this quite often, and because I mean, you go back to your own time in school, and I know mine in particular, being an athlete and trying to figure out, thinking I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and so the guidance, if you think about the fact that 40% of our students are first timers, I mean, that's a lot, and so we are a very diverse university, as we talked about earlier, and so the students didn't really come up knowing what availability, what is out there, what does it mean? I'll give you an example. We're talking about having a banking program, for example, and one of the students said, well, I never really thought I really want to be a teller in a bank, and so I went deeper with that student, trying to find out that their thinking was that a banker is a teller in a bank. Well, it's not bad to be a teller in a bank. It's a great position, but at the end of the day, there are numerous different roles inside the bank. So anyway, we had that conversation. So that's one thing that I do spend quite a bit of time talking to students about, the elasticity of any particular area of study and where you can go with it. I think about the fact that 2/3 of the students today change schools. It kind of reminds me of free agency and now in college sports. Putting your name into a transfer portal. I mean, it has a similar feel, and so it's a very expensive proposition for the school to continue to try to water that down and get that percentage down. So how do you think about what? I mean, we've talked about that quite a bit. What's in your mind as to the things that we're doing that can help that?
Yeah, and that's one of those statistics it's not specific to HCU. It really
Right.
has a lot to do with generationally. What is the marketplace doing in the student realm? And students they're not just hopping jobs, they're hopping schools, like you said. And so we have to combat that in a strategic way that's relevant to HCU. And so I think what that looks like, particularly for us, is going back to not only engaging the marketplace, we want to be community centric. That's what makes HCU such a unique place, is we're in the heart of Houston, and so we should be partnering with those organizations that make sense. So demonstrating that value to the students, but really focusing on not just creating innovative and forward-thinking professional development opportunities, but digging into a little bit into that academic realm of what program opportunities does the marketplace say that we need to be producing, and how can we provide those for our students? And so you mentioned the banking program. Yes, we're pursuing that. We're actively building it. We're seeking out guidance on what is it that the market needs in that realm? What would the students be interested in doing? How can we build that internally and then offer it to the students? And so exploring those different avenues academically as well as professionally, and giving the holistic value proposition for the students, so that when they think about HCU, when we have a prospective student coming to campus, they see, oh, this is a relevant community. This is a relevant school that will position me well to go back into the marketplace. And we know a large portion of our students not only come from the Houston marketplace, but they go right back into it, which is great for our city.
Well, and to that point, Emily, if our statistics are correct, 80% of our students stay in Houston and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of an interesting statistic as well, because if you ask students on campus, what is it that draws you to come here over going to one of the larger state universities or whatever, it typically comes down to the fact that they feel like they're family here. So that 80% staying in the Houston area, it speaks to that kind of common thought.
Right.
And I like that. So I think that one of the biggest things that we have to make sure is that we stay relevant for our students, and we're doing that through academic program development, and I have a few things to say about that. In that, so yes, not only are we thinking about, well, we're trying to put together the banking program, but we're also working on and gathering information in the real estate, which again, you think about the growth of Houston, which is substantial. The one that gets me really excited is, and I hate to say that but healthcare administration really gets me excited. And I know that's a background for you coming out of the healthcare industry. What are you thinking about that? What's your vision for the healthcare administration curriculum?
That one gets me really excited as well. Yes, I come from the healthcare industry prior to moving into the realm of academia, which is its own fun place. But we know that the Texas Medical Center is the epicenter of medicine, right? People come here from all over, not just the nation, but the world, to receive incredible care in the city of Houston. And that's very profound, given the fact that we have a nursing program here that pipelines into those institutions. And so now we want to spin it a little bit and also get our business students plugged in, because there's great opportunity and need in these healthcare institutions, these large ones that employ upwards of 30,000 people in the city of Houston, some of the largest employers that we have. It's important to engage with them, and we've had several wonderful meetings with various entities across the city that are also working on their own exciting initiatives, and they've asked us to be a part of it, which is just, I think, speaks to, again, going back to those initial partnerships. They see that we're doing exciting things. They see that we're doing innovative things, and they want to get on board, and we want to get on board with them. It's this symbiotic relationship, so to speak, where we can provide really high caliber students, and then in turn, they can provide really stellar job opportunities. So healthcare is moving in a direction of, you've got the telemedicine arm, you have these different urgent cares that are popping up in these smaller emergency room facilities. And so it's not just the large hospitals that we're pursuing, it's really the entire realm and sphere of healthcare. And we want to be able to build leaders, administrative leaders, HR professionals, marketing professionals, and pump them into those places in Houston, as you said, because that's already where the students are going to go. So it just makes sense.
Well, again, doing the research and getting to know all the people that are involved in these different initiatives is a lot of fun. One that right now is on my mind as well is energy. We've really never spent a lot of time at the university on the energy sector, but obviously it's the largest employer next to the healthcare industry, and so what can we do in the energy arena to be relevant? Most of the schools all have a petroleum engineering degree of some sort. That's not a direction. Our engineering department or engineering school is focusing on cybersecurity, which is fabulous, and that's also an initiative that is in full swing. But I think that, whether it be energy finance or energy administration or something that really falls in line with our business school objectives, would be very beneficial for the school and for the students. So as I think about the vision and mission of the business school, it came up this week because we had a visit from the young lady that is head of the government, and you may need to give me the exact title, but it's the government, student government school of business leader, and she was extremely well versed. She had done her homework. She had questions. She had laid out exactly what the students are thinking and what they would like to see, the positives, how excited they are, and then she asked me for my vision for the business school. And when I think about it, it's not necessarily my vision, it's our vision, because if we're not all on the same page, then we won't work as a team. But what we do know is that we want our business school to be renowned in the industry, out in the market, for putting really good students to work. And when they come in, one of the big focuses that we want, multiple focuses that we want to have them prepared for is how to write the resume, how to do the interviews, how to be a part of a team, how to take criticism, which is not easy for any of us, for the most part. And then also, we want them to feel like HCU really put them in a position to be able to go into the marketplace and do really great things. And that is our vision, really. And our team is working very diligently, and the faculty in the business school has done a great job of stepping up, and I'm excited about the future, thinking about we had growth in the business school this semester, in double digits, and that's exciting. Yesterday in a meeting, one of the other schools talked about what kind of momentum we are building in the business school. But I want it to be not just about the business school. I want it to be about across campus and Houston Christian University, and that's really where we're going, and that's really what we're about. So, you have any as we close here? Do you have anything that really sticks in your mind, sticks out that that you're thinking?
I think I like being part of your team. You're a sports guy, and we've built an incredible team here, not only in the business school, but really across campus, like you said. So the momentum that you speak to is exciting to be a part of, and people are catching on to that. Our students are excited, the community is excited, alumni are excited, everybody's just excited. And so it's a good time to be in partnership with HCU. And that's why I'm here. I want to help provide those opportunities. I want to build great programs. I want to build just great things for students. That's the heart of what we do here at HCU, and everybody's in tune with that. That's what everybody wants to do. And so when you're all running in the same direction towards that same vision, it makes it a lot easier to get the job done. So I'm excited about where we're heading, and we're grateful for your leadership in the College of Business and across the university.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you very much. I can't say enough about the opportunity God gave me this opportunity at a time that I never expected, never dreamt that I would end up being the dean of a business school, but here I am. And the energy that I feel and the connection I feel with the students and our team is just incredible, and it's exciting to come to the campus every day. And I think that what I really appreciate the most is having those one-on-one conversations with the students, and when they come in and talk to me about, Dean Romey, can you help me get a job? Yes, but let's talk through it and let's put you on a path. The one thing that in my entire career of managing and running companies that I learned is that if you don't have people in the right seats and you don't put them in the right jobs, the enthusiasm for it, the work they do is not gonna perform at the level that they would prefer. And if that happens, then it affects the whole family. And so it's a trickle-down thing. So our mission and vision falls in line with that, and we have to all be working together in sync to be able to move the ball forward, because we don't have the resources that a state university has. We have to make our resources, and we're learning how to do that. And I like the challenge. So it's great to have you on the team, and you really do a great job of making us all look good, and we appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and everybody, I hope you've enjoyed hearing our thoughts. We specifically chose today to go into the really more of the across campus and corporate arena versus going into the academic side. Dr. Kiefer, who runs the academic side for the business school, is a very hard worker and does a fantastic job. Is an HCU graduate, and so he gets the inner workings of the school. He knows the background, so he helps us really understand how to move that ball forward. And he's a great he's a great benchmark, if you will.
He reins us in, I think.
That's exactly right. So, but anyway, thank you all very much for joining us, and we hope you've learned something from listening to what we're saying. And by all means, how if people want to get in touch with us, how do you want that to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. The best place they can do that would find us online on our business website. So they can go to hbu.edu/business, and all of the information regarding what majors we offer, how we're setting up career fairs, how to get involved as a partner or an alumni will be right there. And so they can reach out to us also at business@hbu.edu. So that's a great way to get in touch with us.
Thank you, Emily. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming today.